Hello, hello. This is a quick comparison. What's the difference between Minitab statistical software that so many of our customers already know and love, and some of the newer solutions, Connect, Real-Time SPC, and Prolink. These are all process behavior charting options. Here's a quick summary, and then I'll show you, like with pictures, what each is best for. But in general, you can look at the depth of analysis you can do. Of course, statistical software is super high, and the rest give you different options. Is it real time or not? No, that's the problem. Minitab statistical software is not real time, and Minitab Connect, Real Time SPC, and ProLink are real time in their own different ways. I'll show you that. Integration, you're usually doing manual data entry in Minitab. You can connect to databases with Connect and Real-time SPC. And for ProLink, that's when you're connecting directly to measurement devices like CMMs, et cetera. All right. In summary, down here at the bottom, Minitab Statistical is great for deep, flexible SPC analysis. Minitab Connect, those are automated Minitab dashboards, custom dashboards, make it look however you want. Real-time SPC, it's a standard dashboard that's much more scalable. It does have special user interfaces so that operators can have a simplified view right there for doing the job, but also engineers, et cetera, quality folks could see a larger level, higher level dashboard on their own side. And then ProLink, saying it is, that bridges the gaps between measurement devices and SPC solutions. Okay. So here's an example of ProLink, the one that connects to measurement devices. And you see ProLink on screen here. So that is a color-coded control chart. Red is out of spec, yellow is out of control, green's everything is good. And what it's getting this data from, look, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's several different control charts here. All of these are being measured by this measurement device. This is just a tiny little measurement device at the end of a very sophisticated robotic arm that goes here and traces, in this case, looks like the inner diameter of this object, of this part, and it automatically spits a bunch of readings at QC Calc, one of the ProLink options. It automatically builds all these control charts at once so that each time an operator measures that part, they get to see an update of what's out of spec, what's in control, what's doing well. Okay, it's a very perfect program for people that need this at their station. This is licensed by station. So you hook this up to this measurement device, that's one license. It looks kind of like this. I'll show you how this works. So here's ProLink, and I'll bring up a fake measurement device here. Let's say this is a CMM that's measuring 23 different things. If I hit inspect, it automatically adds a new data point to all these charts all at once. Do you see how that changed? Like, oh, feature 14, feature 23 out of control. You maybe root cause that or figure out what the problem is. Or the next part comes through, you measure it again. Everything looks good. Feature 21, not so good on that one. Okay, so that is ProLink. Same thing for this kind of optical device here. It's not like all the measurement devices are the same. This one's an optical version. Instead of touching the inner diameter of this part, this takes a picture. There's a little light here. There's a camera here that's taking a picture of this, looks like a circuit board. And it automatically measures certain features, automatically dumps those features into ProLink. So that's the primary use. Now, this is Minitab Connect we're looking at. We'll compare this against Minitab Connect. I think if in my garden example that I used to show Minitab Connect, if this measurement device here were connected to a computer, I think it would be good for ProLink. But in my case, no, this is a manual device. I'm manually entering data into a custom form in Connect. It automatically builds this control chart. I built this dashboard, not super aesthetic, but this is just what I built to get started solving this problem in my garden, not being able to grow jalapeno peppers very well. In the end, I ended up with a little more sophisticated chart like this with control charts, capability analysis for each zone of my garden. Right? The jalapeños need lower pH than corn, for example. Everything else somewhere in the middle. But you can do anything in Minitab here, more or less. You can see a box plot. This is where I learned the very important correlation between pH and moisture level as we go from very wet to very dry. this explains almost the full range of from low to high acceptable pHs that my plants can handle. So we use acidic well water to help modulate the pH in our garden. You could put, work instructions here in Connect. You could put, here's a bunch of different stats and graphs from Minitab that you could automate in Connect. But again, the main feature of Connect, it does custom dashboards like that, not just control charts, not just capability, but the main feature of Connect is that unlike Prolink, you can connect to all these different data sources like SQL and Oracle. Super important in my previous company. This was factory data. This was customer service data. If you could link those together, you could see what drives field failures based on your factory data. How could we have prevented that? But tons of other customers are like, we need to connect to SAP, Snowflake, so many different connectors here. Even if you just have a system dumping Excel data into SharePoint, like we can connect to that. There's a lot of options. And if your if your database is not listed here, we can usually connect to it through the REST API or build a custom connector. So usually we can connect to anything. The technology is API driven. Yeah. So that's Minitab Connect. Here's real-time SPC. This is like a front end built on top of Connect. So there's a lot of similarities with Minitab Connect. It's just that here in real-time SPC, we're going to focus on just the SPC tools, not necessarily everything in Minitab. So control charts, capability analysis, Pareto's of assignable causes, and we give a custom user interface to users, to operators versus engineers or admins. Right? There is still real-time visual process monitoring. The dashboard would still show up right there at the line. You also have customizable immediate alerts. They could send alerts. Connect and real-time SPC could both send alerts right to your cell phone or email. And those alerts could be based on control limits, spec limits, any arbitrary limits you want, or if a station shuts down. Those are all possible and easy to implement. Yeah, this is meant to be scalable, so easy configuration. Imagine if you had parts that have 10,000 elements on it, like a circuit board manufacturer I just talked to. Like that's a good use for this. There's no way you're making 10,000 manual control charts. This would automate that. You set it up once, then every time a new part comes in, the system measures it, goes to some database, you pull that data, you alert the appropriate people when things go bad. Yep. So this real-time SPC would probably not be a good example for my garden because I just have a couple parameters I'm measuring on a few different plants. So it's the scalable nature is one of the things that I love about real-time SPC. For all our manufacturing customers, like, would be super useful, measuring so many different characteristics. All right, hope you enjoyed it. And again, the summary, the takeaway was Minitab, deep flexible analysis, Minitab Connect, automated Minitab dashboards, Minitab real-time SPC, custom user interfaces, very scalable, and Minitab's Prolink, QC Calc is one of the tools within there that I showed here. That bridges the gap between gauges, devices, CMMs, PLCs, and all of our process behavior charting, our statistical process control options. All right, hope it helps. Bye.